Change the law first, claiming what is mine as mine. Episode 8. Creating the soil of capitalism in North Korea, recognizing private property rights. Creating the miracle on the Taedong River. North Korea's Workers' Party can implement a market economy. If North Korea declares a so-called Juche market economy, transforming its economic system to align with a capitalist market economy without significantly altering its political system, it must first revise its economic legal framework to conform to international norms. Only then can it gain trust and carry substantial meaning as an action that transcends mere words. While discussing law can be headache-inducing and boring, it is unavoidable. In fact, the legal system is the very essence of human social relationships. Economic relations begin and end with property rights. Capitalism is premised on the recognition of private property rights. The secret to capitalism's victory over socialism lies in private property rights. Common property? That is not mine? In reality, it becomes something belonging to no one. The owner disappears. The people are the masters? That is all nonsense. Socialism, which clung to such a fiction, ultimately failed. Once one possesses something, can trade it, and can pass it down, human instincts such as greed, jealousy, and vanity begin to operate. Thus, private property becomes both the motive and the result of economic activity. Therefore, North Korea's declaration of capitalism begins with the recognition of private property. Article 24 of the Constitution regarding private ownership must be amended to permit individuals to own the means of production and to explicitly stipulate the inviolability of property rights. New provisions must be established to allow private economic activities and legally protect free contracts. Furthermore, an independent law on real rights must be created to regulate exclusive rights of possession, use, profit, and disposal not only for movable property, but also for immovable property such as land and buildings. Long-term investment motivation must be encouraged by ensuring that assets accumulated by individuals are stably passed down to their children and others. Since land in North Korea is in principle state-owned, it is more realistic to grant long-term usage rights rather than privatizing it all at once. Regarding land usage rights, as seen in the examples of China and Vietnam, the state should retain ownership of the land, but individuals or enterprises should be granted long-term usage rights of 50 to 70 years or more, which can be bought, sold, or used as collateral. We must recognize the privatization of housing and establish a system to convert housing usage rights, such as entry permits, currently traded in secret, into actual ownership and register them. For private property to lead to economic development, a legal foundation is required that allows individuals to establish and operate enterprises. An amendment to the enterprise law is necessary to allow the establishment of private enterprises, thereby recognizing individual economic activities currently at the level of home-based work teams, or August 3rd People's Consumer Goods, as official private enterprises. We must lay the groundwork for privatization by incorporating state-owned enterprises into joint stock companies and dividing state assets into stocks to sell or distribute to individuals. Since the protection of foreign investment is essential for attracting foreign capital, we must refine strong practical regulations for the Foreign Investment Protection Law, including provisions such as prohibiting the confiscation of investment assets and guaranteeing the repatriation of profits. If laws exist but are not enforced, property rights become meaningless. As a real estate and asset registration system, a nationwide registry office system must be established where the state officially certifies and publicly discloses who owns what property. Independent civil courts must be operated, specialized civil divisions must be created to render judgments based on legal principles without party interference when property rights disputes arise. The notarization system must be strengthened to publicly certify legal acts, such as sales contracts and gifts, thereby ensuring the safety of transactions. To protect property rights, the civil law system must be completely restructured. North Korea lacks a civil law in a substantive sense. Without a legal framework for contracts, real rights, and obligations, the market cannot function. The market operates only when courts are able to resolve contract disputes and enforce judgments through the Civil Procedure Act and the Enforcement Act. Since North Korea has witnessed the success of the reform, open, and market economies of China and Vietnam, it can be bold in recognizing private property as it transitions to a capitalist market economy. There is no need to proceed cautiously, observing the results of experiments as China has done. In particular, considering North Korea's need to act quickly before a storm strikes due to its possession of nuclear weapons, it must declare a transition to capitalism, reform its economic and legal systems in a coordinated manner, and confront the United States. Next time, I will outline the sequence and content of legal system reform. Thank you.